is essential to all life, both in the sea and on the land. There's one animal that is the perfect ambassador for the ocean, and that's the Orca, or killer whale. In just a few minutes, you'll meet SeaWorld's killer whales. First though, let's find out more about these remarkable animals. Orca, or the killer whale, is the most widely distributed mammal on Earth. They can be found throughout the ocean, all around the world, including in the Arctic, the Atlantic, the Southern, the Indian, and the Pacific Oceans. No other single marine species lives in as many different ocean habitats or is as directly reliant on as many different types of marine life as the killer whale. More than any other marine animal, the Orca is the very embodiment of our shared global ocean. Until about 2 decades ago, scientists didn't know that there were actually several different varieties or ecotypes of killer whales. With effort and observation, however, we discovered that there are actually 10 distinct ecotypes, each differing in size, behavior, diet, lifestyle, and appearance. A striking characteristic of the orca is their black and white skin. This camouflage is called disruptive coloration. In a murky environment, this coloration can make them difficult to detect. Killer whales are countershaded. Their top surface is darker than their surface underneath. From below, looking up, they blend in with the light from above. From above, looking down, they're invisible against the dark lights. Killer whales are warm-blooded and breathe air just like we do. Killer whales are the largest members of the Delphinidae, or dolphin family. As you can see, they have impressive physical characteristics. Orcas have keen eyesight, both above and below the water.
I don't breathe out of my mouth.
The dorsal fin of an adult male can be up to 6 feet in height.
I do. My nose is just 99%. How was it?
The powerful pectoral flippers and tail flick can propel them through the water at a high rate of speed with great maneuverability. Their top speed is nearly 30 miles per hour. Killer whales use echolocation to hunt and to communicate. Communication is also accomplished through tail slaps, breaching, and vocalizations. You'll experience a variety of natural killer whale behaviors during orca encounters today. We ask our whales to replicate natural behaviors such as breaching, spy hopping, and tail slaps. While awe-inspiring and entertaining for our guests, these behaviors are also essential to maintaining the health and well-being of the killer whales in our
I
community.
remember a lot, but I don't remember.
That was the finale.
It's the finale.
Much remains to be understood regarding the orca. One thing we do know, however, is that across the globe, they face real challenges as the general health of the prey populations and habitats on which killer whales depend suffer due to changes in the environment. In just a few moments, you'll encounter SeaWorld's killer whales and learn even more about these fascinating animals. As the most widely distributed mammal on Earth, the killer whale is uniquely positioned to represent the beauty, power, and fragility of the ocean.
Tearing up my heart when I'm with you, and when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. Hit me, baby, one more time. I'm a genie in a bottle. a man with a bling bling. Got my own thing, got the ching ching. I just want real love, real love. I'm searching for a real love, someone to set my heart free. Real love, I'm searching for a real love. Getting jiggy with it, na 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 na. Girls, you know you better watch out. Some guys are only about that.
Our world has one interconnected ocean. A vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the ocean's beauty than the killer whale.
They live in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the Pacific and beyond.
The killer whale story is the ocean story, and it's one we all share.
We are one world, united by our ocean.
their size, speed, power, and problem-solving abilities. These behaviors help keep our whales active and engaged. You know, SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired generations to care about our natural world And we're excited to share their story with all of you here today.
Killer whales are the ocean's top predator. They use cooperation and communication, not just size and strength, to take their place at the top of the ocean's food web. At the bottom are small animals, like krill. At the top, the apex predator, the killer whale. Killer whales are as big as a bus, faster than an Olympic swimmer, high flying and powerful.
We'll see all of that today and more. These and other behaviors provide an environment full of enrichment.
We spend days, weeks, months, years building relationships with our whales. This creates trust, and that allows us to do some amazing things. For example, when you visit the doctor, you present your arm to draw blood, or step on the scale to see how much you weigh. It's much the same with our whales.
Throughout today's experience, you'll see our whales moving together in unison. These synchronized behaviors allow them to strengthen their social bonds and problem solve as a group. This is just one of the many adaptations that makes the killer whale the top predator of the ocean. Their scientific name is Orcinus orca, but they're more commonly known as killer whales. And here at SeaWorld, all 5 members of our pod have their own individual names and identities. The first is Katina. She is our matriarch and leader at 43 years old. Next, we have 2 of our female killer whales, Nalani and Malia. And last, our 2 male killer whales, Trua and Makayo. Now the whales trust us and they take an active role in their own health and well-being. Now one of the first behaviors that we train our whales for, and something that you're all trained for as well, are healthcare or husbandry behaviors. So think about when you go to the doctor and your doctor asks you for a blood sample. Now you know to hold out your arm and your doctor takes that blood sample from the inside of your elbow. Well, killer whales don't have elbows like you and I do, so we had to get a little bit creative. Now Justin and Nick have asked Alani and Malia to flip over onto their backs and present us with the underside of their tail flukes. Now there's a vein that runs along the inside of each lobe of their tail flukes that Justin's pointing out right now. Now this is an excellent spot for us to be able to collect that blood sample from our killer whales. Now not only is this so important for the health and well-being for our animals here at SeaWorld, but we can share this information with scientists and researchers that are studying killer whales out in the ocean. Now you'll notice too, both Nick and Justin are giving Nalani and Malia nice big tail rubs. And not only is this a great way for us to get a good look at their entire bodies, but they have very sensitive skin, so it's also a great way for us to build our relationships as well. Now another important diagnostic tool, like those blood samples, are something that you know to do as well. You know how to weigh yourself. You step on that scale and see exactly how much you weigh. And the killer whales are trained to do the same. So we can ask them to slide up onto a killer whale size scale that we have in one of our adjacent pools. And we're simulating that for you here in our slide out. But you'll notice from their dorsal fin all the way down to their tail flukes, that's a very muscular area called their peduncle. Now it could weigh several hundred pounds. By them keeping their tails in the water, we would be missing out on all of that weight. So we can ask our animals to lift their entire bodies out of the water. Excellent, and this is how Nalani and Malia would accurately weigh themselves. Now this is a behavior that you may see over the course of our presentation, but know that it is one of the most critical husbandry behaviors and one of the first things that we teach our whales. Now we weigh our younger whales to make sure they're growing properly, our older killer whales to make sure they're maintaining a healthy weight.
And the care isn't just physical. Mental stimulation and play are vital, and we surprise and engage with our whales at every opportunity. Play is how killer whales teach their young to hunt, and for the adults, play is important too. It seems that they just enjoy having fun. Making time for play is an important part of life for killer whales, and for us.
Well, hi everyone. I am joined by my friend Paige. Paige is all the way from Ohio. Now, Paige, do you like to play? Yeah, so do I. Now, Creek. And from the moment they're born, they'll learn by watching their mothers and playing follow the leader with other whales. Do you want to play follow the leader with Melina today? Go ahead and stomp your feet. And Melina stomps her tail flutes. We pair different parts of our bodies with different parts of the killer whale's bodies. If we stomp our feet, she stomps her tail flutes. Go ahead and spin around in a circle. Excellent job, and Melina does the same. All right, go ahead and give her this fish. Right up and over the glass. Good job, Katie. Our killer whales are curious animals too. They've often been seen jumping out of the water to spot their prey, get a better look at their surroundings, or even play. You remember that hand signal we taught you? Excellent. Go ahead and give it to her. All right, and Melina is off to do that sighting bow. She's going to jump all the way out of the water next stage, so we're going to see her first. Give her a big round of applause.
All right, excellent job, Mimi. Hi, everyone. My name is Justin. I'm over here on the right-hand side of the stadium, and today I'm joined by Mike, who's all the way from Toronto. Give him a hand. All right, Mike, I'm going to have you meet Alani today. We're going to start off by you feeding her one of our favorite fish. This is a herring. The subtoss right down the hatch. So get it. Very good. All right, that was a pretty cute little sighting bow that they did at stage, but I think that we can do one bigger and better. I want to send the breeze. This is a really big jump for a really big killer whale. Do you remember the signal I taught you? Okay, stand right in front of Alani, make good eye contact. 1, 2, 3, give her that cue. Excellent, she took the cue. Audience, you gotta keep your eyes at the stage without reach. Fight to keep your eye on her. Let's get a little bit closer. She's gonna swim about 36 feet down to the bottom. Reaching is one way up to the most. Oh man! That was not supposed to happen! Oh, I feel bad, it's cold. Hey, does anybody have a towel? Thanks. Mike, don't worry about a thing. I'm gonna be just fine.
Well, it looks like you got soaked over there, Justin. How about a round of applause for our audience volunteers? Well, SeaWorld's research and observation on the killer whales under our care has helped shed light on many mysteries about these amazing animals. For example, we know that the gestation period of a pregnant killer whale is 17 months. That's information that would be impossible to gain out in the ocean. Some information, however, can only be obtained through field observation. That's why SeaWorld partners with organizations like the Norwegian Orca Survey and NOAA to help advance global education about killer whales. Killer whales are powerful, cooperative animals, and perhaps the best expression of that power can be seen when they hunt.
Killer whales stand apart. They have no natural predators, and just about any other ocean animal could be their dinner. Depending on where they live and their chosen prey, they've developed some epic hunting techniques. Off the coast of South America, killer whales will teach themselves, riding in on waves just long enough to catch prey. They'll also create waves that knock animals like penguins or seals from ice cliffs. Most importantly, they cooperate, communicate, and coordinate as a team. Here's footage of killer whales corralling a school of herring. A whale dips in and feeds, while the other whales keep the fish together with swipes of their tail fins.
So killer whales create waves to hunt. They use their powerful tail flukes to stun their prey. You're about to get a demonstration. For our whales, it means a fun activity session. But for you, it means it's time to get wet. Well, killer whales are amazing athletes. They can eat several hundred pounds of food a day. But depending on where they live and the time of year, their prey items could vary. Unfortunately, factors like overfishing and pollution pose a serious threat to some populations of killer whales.
Killer whales are impressive animals, and it's pretty obvious why they're the top predator in the ocean. That means killer whales are invincible, right? Wrong.
Killer whales depend on a plentiful food source and a clean environment. They're completely dominant, yet completely dependent.
When it comes down to it, killer whales are not the most powerful animal in the ocean.
Their future depends on you.
Through your actions.
Through the choices we all make.
We hold the future of killer whales and the oceans in our hands.
Killer whales continue to surprise and amaze us. They're the perfect ambassadors of the ocean, limitless, connected, powerful, but still vulnerable.
The challenges that we face can seem insurmountable.
Don't give up. Be inspired.
We can make a difference. The ocean needs our help, and that seems overwhelming, but together we can make it happen.
There's so much to learn.
So much to protect. So much to explore. The killer whale story is still being written, and there are simple things we all can do to make a difference.
All it takes is one choice.
One positive act. One ripple that can grow and grow.
And change the world.
Together, we've got this.
It's a brand new day. Open up your eyes. Discover all the way. Every different creature, beautiful, unique. Just counting the treasure of our destiny. From the highest high to the deepest deep, so much mystery. We are all inspired. Our smoking world. Every shadow of that grows from each of us. And as our hearts unite, and we come alive, we can feast on life. Come see how marvelous is this one big world. Let's all take a journey, explore the great unknown. One more great creation, everywhere we go. Miracles surround us, wherever we may roam. The privilege unites us, to call this earth our home. From the highest high to the deepest deep, so much mystery.